Hi, I'm Michele Weiner-Davis, and the reason I'm talking to you today is because I have gotten so many emails and questions about my Divorce Busting Level 1 training in June 11th through the 13th in Boulder, Colorado. I know I've answered a few of you personally, but I really wanted to make this video to answer some of the very most common questions. One of the questions I've gotten many times is, do I belong there? Who is this for? And so let me answer that very quickly. If you are someone who works with couples or works with individuals around relationship issues, you belong in this workshop. That includes all mental health professionals, whether you're a psychologist, a social worker, a counselor, a coach. It also includes people who are marriage mentors and military chaplains and pastors and rabbis. It includes psychiatrists, and actually almost every year we've had a divorce attorney or two attending these workshops. So when I say anyone who works with couples who wants to help those couples prevent unnecessary divorce, this workshop is for you. In addition to my identifying your professional career, I also want you to know that you'll benefit from this if you're working with couples who are incredibly challenging, who are arguing all the time. You can hardly get them to stop arguing. If there are serious problems like infidelity and substance abuse, if there's a lot of contempt. Basically, if you are experiencing a couple who, where one person says they're not in love anymore, you know that line, I love him, but I'm not in love with him anymore. Where the affect is really flat and you're having a hard time getting things going, or sometimes you make suggestions and one or both of the people aren't taking you up on it. And finally, what happens if only one person is willing to come in? How is it possible to try to save a marriage just working with one person? If any of this sounds familiar to you, if any of this gives you a clinical headache and you don't feel as confident as you would like, again, this is a workshop for you. Another question that I've been asked is, what topics will I cover? So I've been really developing this divorce busting method now for nearly 30 years. And what I've done is I've distilled the method as best as I possibly could down to 3 days filled with tons of information about what is this method. And one of the ways that I deliver this information is by offering you a first session divorce busting map, so that we start from the very beginning of the session and we go to the very end of the session, and I help you conceptualize what you do step by step. In addition, when couples come back or when individuals come back, they come back in different ways, and you need to know what to do and how to respond depending on how they come back. So there'll be a map for second and subsequent sessions. And then, of course, I'll be addressing the topic that I refer to as it takes one to tango. How do you work with one person, one spouse who's motivated to effect change single-handedly? And for couples who come in where there's infidelity, and nowadays, you know, I can tell you that 95% of the couples I'm working with, there is infidelity. You need to have a roadmap to help couples navigate the very difficult ups and downs that they'll experience on their way to healing. I'll offer you such a roadmap. And no matter how clear you are about what you're supposed to do, there are times where you're going to hit impasses and road bumps. And I want to help you develop a solution-minded way of working around those impasses so that you'll feel more confidence when you feel stuck. And finally, when it seems like all else fails, I develop something called the last resort technique. So I will not only tell you what that is, I'll tell you how to implement it so that you will know what you can do when you are starting to feel yourself that all hope is running out. It isn't running out. Use the last resort technique. And now that I've outlined for you all the professional information that I will be covering, I want you to know the truth about this workshop. It is plain fun. You will feel inspired personally in your own relationships. We will have fun together. And Boulder in June, if you don't know it, is absolutely beautiful, and we will be spending time together. So join me and a small group of kindred spirits to help couples save their marriages, even when it seems like it's not possible. It is possible using the divorce busting method. So come and join me.